Welcome to another episode of High Above Courtside. I'm Anthony. That's Steve over there, and big 6-0 road trip for the Celtics. First time in Celtics history, breaking records. It seems weekly nowadays for this team. What are your initial thoughts on the 6-0 road trip, Steve?
First of all, rude. You got to ask me how I'm doing.
True.
Nah,
Don't really
I'm just
care.
like, I'm just playing. It's great to see these boys rounding into form. As you mentioned, 6-0 on the road trip, 14-1 in March. The guys are humming at the perfect time right now. You have a little bit of injuries right now, but we're doing a great job, Joe and his team, of balancing injuries, time off, and letting these young guys play, a la Bayless Scheinman, just lighting it up. But I kind of really want to get into how the double bigs have been this year. Um, with the injuries and everything, we've had to be in and out. And Luke Cornett, the unsung hero of this team this year so far, has been crushing it in the double big lineups. KP and Luke together, 122 minutes, non-garbage time in there, have a net rating of 26.2, which is just phenomenal. Al and Luke together have 342 minutes this season with a net rating of 15.5, and KP and Al together have a net rating of 12.1. That's just really great knowing your personnel. Luke stepping up. I love how he said he's the left god of basketball. That's just like the perfect analogy for himself. And they asked him like, what's been the big difference between last year and this year? And he just pretty much said stepping up his physicality and putting his life on the line by throwing his body around. And I love that. I love that thought process by him. And that's really what it is. Luke would always go up there with those weak little hands and just like not catch the ball or slapping it around. Now he's just grabbing shit. He's dunking on people. He's rebounding. He had a 15 and 16 game against the Spurs. It's just, and he's been like allergic to double doubles his like entire tenure at the Celtics, and it's great for him to see, just that like hard work paying off. And the biggest thing that I like kind of forgot last year is Luke was like hurt in the playoffs. He had that wrist injury, wasn't really playing that much. He's going to be such a big factor for us. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the double big lineup?
Yeah, I mean it's been a huge plus. I mean, just to get back to that Cornette Spurs game, 7 of 10, 15 points, 16 boards, 4 assists, plus 21. Unbelievable. Absolutely dominated that game. I mean, the Spurs, they're playing with half a roster right now, but still, he was a man-child in that game. It seemed like he got almost every offensive rebound. He was just, absolutely dominating. So, I mean, the double big for me, it's going to be huge for them, especially when they get the Cavs, who obviously have 2 7-footers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, against anybody really, just having those 3 guys to roll out there, it's just such a plus. And if you think back to last season, you didn't have. I mean, Cornette didn't play much in the playoffs. KP got injured early, so you really didn't have that option at all. And just having that option there, and the way it's worked this year, it's just, geez. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do against this team when it seems like they can go to so many different variations of lineups and kill you. I mean, the KPL stuff, the on-off for them recently is ridiculous. I mean, Porzingis alone, I think in 28 games, he's up to 44% from 3 this year.
It's huge.
Ridiculous. And I mean, the spacing he provides, ridiculous. The fact that he hits those at a 44% clip, if that keeps up through the playoffs, I mean, I really don't know how anybody in the East beats him. At least it's just a different ball game. The spacing is so different when he's out there, and the rim protection is so different when he's out there. He's a monster in the paint. It's just so. I mean, when you watch games without him out there, it's not horrible paint defense, but it's just completely different when he's out there. Guys feel his presence. It's just it's not a it's not even that. I mean, he obviously blocks a lot of shots, but just his presence in there, it scares guys away. So it's massive.
Yeah, and it also helps that Tatum loves playing with Luke Cornett. He's got like a 1.3 points per pick and roll, which is just
unreal. Second in the NBA behind just Jokic and Murray.
Yeah.
The most efficient pick and roll duo. Second most efficient pick and roll duo is Luke Cornett and Jason Tatum. Absolutely absurd. But I mean, that stat alone makes me feel like, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like last year it felt like Luke couldn't play in the playoffs. And if he was, it was like, okay, break glass in case of emergency type of deal. And I still feel that like a little bit because we didn't see it last year, but those numbers suggest like this dude's gonna play, especially against teams like the Cavs who have some size. It's like he's gonna play and he should play because, especially when Jalen or on that second unit when it's Tatum and the bench, like you want Luke out there because they're just so efficient in the pick and roll. The offensive rating is absurd with them too.
Yeah, I know obviously it's going to be a little different in the playoffs, but over Luke's last 5 games, he's got 9.4 points, 8.4 rebounds, shooting 73% from the field. In the last 3, he's got almost a double-double, 10 and 10, 70% from the field. It's just that's all dirty work stuff. No one's running anything for him, so he's just playing the game, reading it, and doing it. So I think that will translate. And then as for KP, he, like you said, pretty sure. Let me just look. I'm pretty sure he's like 50% over his last couple games from 3. If you just wait with me for 1 second for the splits, I'm looking it up. Yeah, so 57% in the last 3 games, 52 in the last 5, 40 in the last 10, and overall for the season at 40. So that's always been like a little thing. Like the threat of his 3-point shot is like a big deal. Like you need that, and he's kind of like in the mid 30s. And when he's hitting it at 4 out of 10, that's
like you said. Even the threat is so like you just need the
drag out 29 feet.
If he's making them all at a 50% clip, it's like, good Lord, what do you do with that? Because you have to give up something against the Celtics, and a lot of times you're like, okay, if it's a 28-foot 3 from Porzingis, hopefully he goes 2 for 7 instead of 4 for 7, which is what he's been doing since he's been back from injury. Post All-Star break especially.
Speaking of injury, Drew Holiday coming back with that mallet finger. He said he had a quote the other day. It's kind of weird playing basketball. It feels like I have 4 fingers, which is very interesting. But kind of, I don't know, maybe it made his shooting a little bit better, but he's shooting 38.9% in the last 10 games from 3, 50% in the last 5, and 61 in the last 3. So it's coming together for him. He's getting, more used to it and stuff like that. You're seeing him take a bigger load when other players are out. It's just going to be good to see him in the playoff setting when he wraps everything up. And again, Joe and his team did a great job keeping him not coasting, but just monitoring him throughout the season, a la Al Horford, a la KP and everyone else. And that's kind of when everyone had their panties in a bunch about the midseason malaise. It was like these guys they're just coasting right now.
They've all been in the league 10 years, and it's like this is the dog days of. I mean, the 10 and 10 stretch that everyone looks back on. It's like that was mid-January. Remember Derek White saying like,
"You lost joy."
Yeah, they lost joy, and it's like that clearly was just. And I'm sick. It's middle of the season. It's dog days. We're playing the Bulls on a Tuesday night. Who cares? Stuff like that. And now you see the clock flip to March, and it's like, bang, 14-1 in March. This team's humming. Guys are getting healthy-ish, and I mean, it's translating on the court.
No, for sure. Just to touch base on a little bit on the record right now. So pre-All-Star break, they were 39-16 is a 70% clip winning percentage, and post All-Star break they're 17-3 at 85% clip. It's amazing to see these guys just know exactly how to work through the entire season and not give too much effort. We spoke, I think, last time about how when OKC hits you, they're hitting you right from the jump, and they've been like that the whole season. And it's like a hat off to them for playing that hard, that consistent throughout the whole season. But that's kind of maybe Joe's not showing his cards, or the guys, like you said, have been in the league for a long time, so they don't feel the need to want to do that. That hunger may not be there after last year. But from January 29th to March 30th last year, Celtics went 23-5. January 29th this year to March 30th, 23-4. So these guys are right there. They just had a real weird, malaise in the middle of the season. What did they go, 8-8 or something like that?
I thought it was 10-10, but it was 500 over a month.
500 ball, yeah.
Mid-December to end of January. But yeah, I mean, like you said, and OKC has a little bit of this year where it's like the Celtics don't have much to prove, whereas last year it was, they had a ton to prove even during the regular season. No one believed in them. They always fail in the end, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
it was like, okay, we've already got over the hump. We're kind of just rolling the ball out there, and they got smacked a few times.
Yeah.
Now it's okay. Now it's not cutting time. It's almost time for the playoffs, and bang, it's right back to their old self. What was the stat I wanted to just throw at you? I completely forget. But the one that makes me happy going into the playoffs, and this is kind of piggybacking on how they've turned the corner, and it seems like they're just locked in. They're in that playoff mode, playing their best ball. They're first in offensive rating, but 30th in pace.
Yeah.
The last month and a half, which is just great for the playoffs. Everyone knows the game slows down in the playoffs. It becomes more of a half-court game. So the fact that they're number one, they're not. We're not talking top 10 or top 5. We're talking about tops in the league, but they're playing the slowest out of anybody. It's such a good omen for me for the playoffs when the game's going to slow down. Teams are going to make shots. Can you execute in the half court? And these guys, can they execute? I mean, can they ever? Like, it's ridiculous the level they're playing at in the half court. I mean, to be number one offensive rating without playing with any pace is just absurd at any point in the season.
No, for sure. And that's, like you said, it slows down once you hit the playoffs, and being amazing in the half court and also not turning over the ball and having great shot selections, those long rebounds, then you're in transition, is just absolute great recipe for playoff success. Yeah, I'm just really excited, especially seeing all this. The only thing I'm really worried about right now is Jalen's noodle knee. I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully he doesn't try to press it, trying to hit that 65 game mark to get, potentially third team All NBA. Hopefully he just rests that. Even though there is a week and a half break after the season.
Yeah, because of the play-in now.
Yeah.
Right, so that's gonna help. Yeah, no, and I think that's the biggest storyline over the next 10 games or whatever we got left, next 3 weeks to the playoffs, is because it's obviously keeping KP healthy, keeping everybody healthy, but
yeah,
Jalen's knee is obviously the biggest issue where he was so good last year in the playoffs, and it almost feels like sometimes the regular season we can get by without Jalen, and it's we get great ball movement without him. We have a good bench, blah blah blah. Jalen is the prototypical for me 16-game player. Like he is a playoff guy. You need a guy, especially when he's he's your number 2, and Tatum's gonna get doubles, and they're gonna try to take away all your strengths. If you have a guy who can just go one-on-one and get a bucket whenever he wants, and Jalen's that guy. Can he be that guy on a 70% knee? Remains to be seen. I think against a lot of teams he can still do that, but against the OKCs of the world or against the Clevelands of the world, can he be that guy if he's not 100% healthy?
You know what though? Like we played OKC and they're giving us the open 3, and Candace Parker and Vince Carter was like, "Oh, can this be sustainable in the playoffs?" We just did it last year, so I don't know what year we're doing this analysis on. But Jason Timm had, known Celtics hater, Jason Timm had some stats about the Memphis game and how we just had all these open threes, and he was like, the Celtics generated 32 unguarded catch and shoot jump shots during that game. By far the highest total of the season. They generated at least 20 in 5 straight games. The offense is really starting to peak right on the doorstep of the playoffs, and that's literally what you want. Generating great shots. We're not settling. We're not just chucking up threes. If you watch the game, you'll see there aren't anyone near our 3-point shooters. And if that's going to be your game plan, good luck to you, because we're going to be playing, 4-on-3, 2-on-1s. It's just the nature of the game.
Right. Tatum's assists has gone up, was 5 most of the year, gone up to 7 the last however many games. He's really locked in and he's just turned the corner. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but he doesn't get rushed anymore. He can get to a spot whenever he wants. He finds the open guy. I mean, and it's just, it all starts with him and the ball movement. And like you said, the Celtics take very few contested shots in a game.
Derek White's the only one, and I trust him completely.
Right, and a lot of his are the only ones they ever take are really end the shot clock for the most part. And even some of Derek's quick threes are those I wouldn't call them highly contested. They're more of the
It's right behind the screen. If you go under a little bit,
right. Like you're getting a contest, but it's not a great contest, and it's just it's just when their offense is humming, it's absolutely Missoula. This is what we
I'll tell you. I would kind of want to hit Missoula ball to I'll trust in that forever. I'll give you some stats because we just mentioned Tatum's assists. Post All-Star breaks, Tatum's averaging 27.6 points, minimum 4 games. These are the people that had 10 games at least. So he's 4th, minimum 10 games. He has 7.4 assists. That's 11th, second amongst guards during that time frame. Jokic obviously is the only one above him that has more. On the season, he has 8+ assist games. In 24-25, he has 22. That's 32.8% of his games. Last year, he had 9. That was 12.2% of his games. 10+ assist games this year, 7. Last year, 1. The guy's just unlocked a different level, and he sees the game completely different. He's just giving you, I don't know, peak LeBron stat numbers now. It's just what it is. 27, 7-7, 27, 8-8, whatever you want to do. He's just another guy that's reached that top tier level. And Bontemps came out with his MVP straw poll, and I think he's ranked like right below Giannis at 4th. But I don't know, dude. I think he's maybe the 3rd best player in the league, and the way he's played post All-Star break has just been unreal. And if he could carry that, I don't even give a shit about his 3-point shooting either. It's a little down post All-Star break, but like it doesn't matter the way he's playing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. He doesn't take very many bad threes at all, and you need to. The threat is what opens everything up. So really, I don't care. I don't care if he goes 1 for 9, because he goes 1 for 9 and he's still 25, 8 and 7, and it's like, okay, when he goes 4 for 9, now you're talking a 40-point game, and that there's no chance of beating the Celtics when he does that. So it's like, and like you said, he's completely unlocked his playmaking ability, and also he's the most versatile defender on your team, and he's one of the most versatile defenders in the league. So he's really, it's just, it's ridiculous. Blessed to watch him every night. I want to ask you one more thing about Jalen heading into the playoffs. Obviously, we were without KP last year. Do you think the Celtics can make the finals without a 100% healthy Jalen, or even without Jalen at all?
You can't do it without Jalen. You could probably get there with a 70% Jalen, but what he does as point of attack defender, how he frees up the other guys to not necessarily help over too much, but he gives them a lot of versatility on defense. What he does on offense is he picks on that other guy. Team's going to get doubled, like you said, so he's playing against their 2nd or 3rd best player on defense on the other side, and he gets to abuse them. He gets to bully ball them. The only aspect I think that will really hurt him is the mid-range and his shooting with that knee. It's probably going to be lower, so he's going to have to play closer to the hoop. Little bully balls, if it's against the Cavs or whatever, you could just get Garland on his back, Jerome on his back, someone like that, so we could utilize his skill set. I mean, he the first game he came back, didn't look too good. The second game, he had a monstrous dunk in there. So, I mean, if you're 70% of the way, you could kind of reach that top level, a couple possessions during a game. But without him, I don't see us winning. But what do you think?
I mean, I kind of agree. I think they could get through the East without Jalen.
Yeah.
I don't think they can win the title without him. Whereas, like, Porzingis, obviously, especially if it's OKC. I mean, if someone else comes out of the West, maybe, but yeah, it would be tough. It would be tough to win without Jalen. But I think they could potentially at least make the conference finals without him. Not that I want to see that or anything like that, but we gotta do another ode to Uncle Al Horford segment because I mean. It's getting ridiculous what this guy is doing. I know I've said this before, but, like, I don't know. I can't name 5 other big guys that I would rather have for the Celtics team. Like, I'm sorry, especially defensively and the way he stretches the floor. Like, I guess there's other big men that's like, of course, like, take away the Giannis's and the Jokic's and all those guys, but, like, he's exactly what this team needs. He's so good defensively. He's so good at stretching the floor. It's absolutely absurd at 38 that he keeps doing this. I mean, just the last 5 games, he 9 for 18 the other night against Memphis, 6 for 13 from 3. He's 5 of 10 against Phoenix. He's 6 of 12 against Portland. And, I mean, he's doing this while also just being your second most versatile defender and being able to
Sitting down, guarding LeBron James, sitting down in his stance, guarding his yacht.
right, like he's not out there like the John Morant, Kevin Durant, like different guys that he's out there guarding. It's not like they're switching him onto bums. Like you're comfortable with him on any guard in the league, basically. And there's not many other big men that give you that. And some of those guys are in their prime. It's like and there's especially not that many that give you that while also shooting 40+% from three. So it's like, I mean,
he's amazing.
Like, part of me thinks he can do this till he's 45 years old.
I don't know, 45. That's kind of a lot. What's he going to be turning 38 soon?
He is 38, I think.
Is he 38? How old is Al fucking Horford? He's 38 years old, so I think 2 more years he could do this. But I will never limit Al Horford ever, actually. So forget what I just said.
I said that about LeBron 2 years ago too, and LeBron's still doing what he's doing. Like Al doesn't. I mean, he just takes care of himself. I don't know what he does, but
Tom Brady had that book come out with the TB12 method. I need the Al method.
Yeah, we need the Al method. Like, what's this man eat? Like, what's his diet? I'll follow it. I don't care. What's the workout routine? I have no idea. Like, do I have to have 7 kids or something? What he does, I'll do it. I don't care.
Like my splits for Al Horford, last 3 games, 38.5% from 3, 18.7 points, 8 rebounds, 2.7 assists. Last 5 games, 13 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 34.3% from 3, 36% from 3 in the last 10, 13 and 8. He's just phenomenal. 26 points he had, the highest since, I don't know, fucking forever in a regular season game. So he could always dial it back up, and you see it in his eyes, those gorgeous, beautiful Dominican eyes of his. You could just see when he's locked in, and he's like, all right, let's go.
Right. And it's going to be, we got to cross our fingers for KP to stay healthy, because having Al be able to defend centers and switch while KP can be that help guy that helps off your worst shooter. We didn't have that in the playoffs last year. It was Tatum and Al, and that was it. And having Tatum, Al, and KP and Luke to fill a couple of those minutes, it's like, geez, it can get real scary for some of these teams.
No, for sure. Should we kind of go into a little bit of seeding, how the playoffs are going to be shaking out, or what do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
As it is right now, it's either going to be the Magic or Hawks facing us. So who do you prefer?
It's pretty much walked into that. It seems basically.
I agree. I think that's what it's going to be too.
Because where's Miami? They're 2 games back. I guess Miami can see him, but still, I don't know. I mean, I want to say the Magic because the Hawks suck, but Trae Young is a dog, man. He's annoying and he's good.
He's going to lead the league again in assists. Like he's really good.
Yeah, like you play Trae Young in the playoffs, like his team's gonna be able to score on you, and he's gonna get hot in some games and go crazy. And we've seen the ice Trae stuff. I just don't think the Magic could bog you down defensively. They're big and physical, but they just suck offensively. Big time suck.
Yeah, I mean, Paolo's ticking up a little bit right now, and it depends on if he's getting, calls and gets to the free throw line, even though he's not the best free throw shooter. I'd still rather see the Magic as well. I think Tatum would abuse the shit out of them. I think they would have a hard time guarding KP. Al Horford, no answer for him. Drew Holiday will be able to take anyone off the dribble down there. So, I mean, our bench guys will be able to play.
Yeah, you can't beat the Celtics without being able to shoot threes, and they cannot shoot threes. So, they have who's a plus 3-point. I mean, even KCP is having a down year from 3, and Jalen Suggs is out for the year, right?
Yes.
So, that was an.
Fritz Wagner cannot hit a 3 at all, dude.
What's he at now?
It's got to be low, but I know I've watched the games and he just can't shoot it at all.
Right.
It's absurd.
And I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't watched much Hawks recently. I don't even know who's on that roster anymore. I think Georges Niang's playing a lot of minutes now, and Karis LeVert, obviously, and that. But I don't know. Okongwu's also always been a problem for the Celtics.
Yeah, he's an active body, and that's tough for us.
Yeah, he's kind of a beast.
Not with big body Luke now, though.
Yeah, Luke might take care of him, but either way, that should be kind of a cakewalk.
And then how do you see that playing out then? So there's going to be It's already going to be Bucks and Knicks, right? Pistons, Pacers, most likely. I still don't think the. Yeah, who are you afraid of? I guess is my big question. Besides the Cavs, right? You're not really afraid of them, but like, who gives you the most concern?
Well, I will say one thing. I do want, not that I think the Pistons would beat the Knicks in the first round, but I don't want to deal with those. I don't want to deal with Isaiah Stewart trying to beat somebody up and do wild shit. Like, I don't need that. They're young. They try really fucking hard, and it's just like you can have Cleveland and you can beat up on Pacers or whatever. Like Bucks, Knicks, if Dame's out, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but it's even worse now without him, obviously. And the only hope for the Bucks was for Dame to, because Giannis is going to be Giannis no matter what, but you always like, all right, if Dame goes crazy in the playoffs and shoots like 45% from three on high volume, like they can beat anybody on a game in, game out basis. But so like I like how it sets up right now. I like Knicks Bucks in the first round. I think that'll be a tough series. Like that might go 6-7 games, and then I know I like our matchup versus either of those teams. So to answer your question, I think outside of Cleveland, the Pacers scare me more than anybody else.
Same. No,
Pacers sure. They have an identity. They know what they are. They're like, we suck on defense, but we're gonna fucking take the ball out of the basket and sprint up the other end of the court and try to get 2 points on you, and it works. They scored like 165 points the other night in regulation. I mean, it was against the Wizards, but like it's still like that's pretty incredible to do. They've done it a few times this year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and Halliburton's back to form where he was pre-injury of last year. He's 18 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 9.1 assists, 38.8% from three. But what really caught my eye is in the last 5 games, this dude is shooting 43.6. That's crazy. This guy's the shot's back for him, and when that's going, you got to kind of play up on him, and it just stretches out everything, and the spacing gets real good for them, and then they start running and gunning, and it's we saw it last year.
Yeah, we saw Nembhard turn it on last year, so they have guys, they have dudes, they have a lot of guys who can score. So, not that I think I don't think we'd sweep them this year. Like I think they get a game or two from us.
Yeah.
I think they'll give the Cavs a tough time if that's a potential second round matchup.
Especially with the way they've been playing as of late. They're 5-5 in the last 10.
Also, Pacers Pistons is good for basketball. First round series, that'll be nice.
Oh yeah, the old days.
Old school rivalry. That's a late 90s rivalry right there.
I love that.
So we'll take that. So yeah, it should be interesting. There's that's kind of where you watch is 4 through 6 is really the only movement that can really happen outside of the play and stuff. But
oh my goodness. I was just looking at Donovan Mitchell's splits in the last 20 games. He's shooting 28.8% from three, sub 20% in the last 10, 23 in the last 5. I mean, he's never really been that good of a 3-point shooter. So if this is him coming back down to earth, it's a tough time for that to happen to him and their team. But that is huge. I mean, I know he scores more than Michael Jordan. He averages more than Michael Jordan against our Celtics, but it is interesting to see a little chink in the arm. I mean, he's a big game player anyways, and it's going to be tough, especially because that team just is so fucking good. Like, I don't want people to overlook them because they're having a bad, recent stretch, because this team really is fucking good. But I think there's some areas there that we can really attack, specifically Jared Allen, and it's gonna be tough for them. Yeah, Gallo.
Right, and DeAndre Hunter shooting's come back down a bit.
Yeah, he was on fire. He was on fire, dude.
Like a month he was with them, man. It was ridiculous.
Let's see where he's at. Yeah, he's fucking 20% in the last 3 games from 3, 25 in the last 5, 36 in the last 10. So it's coming down a bit.
Yeah. So last 8 games or whatever, things to look forward to for me are some of the young guys playing, because I'm excited about Baylor Shireman.
Yeah, did he just surpass Jordan Walsh? Is that just what's happening here? Yeah.
He should. Baylor Shireman is a guy. I think, think about what he's shown you just in the past 2 weeks. He's shown you more than Jordan Walsh has in 2 years.
Sure. No, for sure.
He's shown you more than the way he can put the ball on the floor and his passing ability, Like, I think next year he's going to be a real player for this team.
Yeah.
Like a real rotation guy, which is humongous. Brad might have done it again. He might have.
He keeps on cooking.
That no dip three he has is like
he's got confidence now. Once he had those 15 points, then he's like, all right, I belong.
Turned around, and that's exactly. He belongs, and he can put the ball on the deck, and he can pass the ball. He knows he knows how to play the NBA game. He knows where guys are supposed to be. I mean, he's even had some turnovers where it felt like, to me, it wasn't his fault, where he passed to a spot, like that he thought a guy should rotate to, and like I don't know if some of these guys like they don't
expect it,
and they're like, they're like, oh shit, like I thought he was just gonna run in there crazy and try to finish, but he's, he's throwing behind the back passes. It's like it's wild. This guy's he's got confidence, man.
Yes, he does.
Also, shout out J.D. Davison,
MVP G League. Let's go.
Another guy, like that'll be summertime conversations, but J.D. Davison to me is probably a rotation player next year. So I'd like to see. I know they're in the playoffs, so I think he will obviously get some minutes up here in the next 10 games, which I'll be excited to see that too.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Baylor Scheinman, I'm just so excited to see that. We need to start hitting on these cost control players, and hopefully, this bears fruit.
Right. If he's one, then like we've hit on Hauser, we've hit on Pritchard, we've had some of these Luke. So it's been working, and if Shireman is another one, that would be huge.
Yeah, I mean, our development pipeline is, Tampa Bay Rays level.
Right. I like that analogy.
I think that's really it, though. I'm just looking forward to that health, and then seeing how everything shakes up. Even though it's kind of locked in, the West is really where it's going crazy. Jokic, 60-point triple-double, which is pretty crazy last night.
No, I don't count.
53 minutes. Fuck that.
It is kind of like, but he played. I think he played close to 40 straight minutes last night.
I'm sure he did.
Like that was an all. I mean, then that just tells you how tight it is in the West. That it's.
Yeah.
I mean, they're locked. I'm just glad we're not in that position that we have to play. Tatum 40 minutes straight in a March game to try to fight for seeding. So,
especially when you're 16 and a half back.
Nice to be
nice to be in the East. Everyone left. They saw Tatum and the Celtics. They was like, we're out.
Nothing to do with it. So, all right. Well, that will do it for us. And subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll have some more content for you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think we're gonna dive into, at least me, Tatum versus, Kawhi and Kevin Durant, other big time forwards on, just where he's ranking, not necessarily all time, but like his stats wise. I'm really looking forward to diving into that.
I love that.
All right, guys.
I'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace.